YouTube. I'm back. I'm here to tell my story. My story with FND, functional neurological disorder. For those who don't know what that is, I explained it in my last video, so go back to my last video and look that up because I'm just gonna go ahead and go into my story. Yeah, it's been 9 months, a whole baby since since I've been diagnosed. So I just wanted to tell my personal story. I'm feeling like it's gonna be a long one, so hang in there with me because I'm starting from like the beginning. So, and a trigger warning: there might be some trauma mentioned, some things of that nature, because it all ties into why I got diagnosed with FND. So if this makes you uncomfortable, if that kind of thing makes you uncomfortable, then I don't recommend watching this video. But okay, let's get into it. So when it all started last June, and it all started with ear problem, and my ear still is not completely correct. It's not right still, but it all started with a earache, ear pain. My ears just feeling like off. And I was at work. I was at my old job. I don't work there anymore. I worked at a hospital. I miss that place so much. I loved my hospital job. But anyways, I was feeling very off, and like people were asking me like, Essence, are you okay? Because I was off. Like I was not feeling, like you could just tell I was off, and I was just not feeling right. So I ended up leaving my job early. Ironically, I was trying to drive to a different hospital because I did not want to go in the ER in that hospital, because I know how the ER works at the hospital I worked at, and I was like not feeling it. So I went to drive to a different hospital, and as I was driving, I started feeling very disoriented, very out of place. So I ended up calling my grandma. Like I was like kind of freaking out. I was like, hey Granny, can you have Grandpa come get me? I don't feel right. And she's like, okay, pull over somewhere. Tell me where you are. We're gonna have him come get you. I'm gonna have him come get you. So I pull over at in Target's parking lot, and I was just not feeling right. So I just waited until my grandpa and my brother was with him. So they ended up helping me get in my grandpa's car, and we went to the hospital. And I was very like out of it, very disoriented, very dizzy. Yeah, I don't really recollect everything that happened, but I just remember I was just like crying and just not feeling okay. So they checked me out, and basically they were saying that I'm showing signs that I have vertigo. So they gave me some medicine for my ear because my ears were swollen and looked like I had an ear infection. So they gave me some medicine, gave me some fluid, sent me on my way. I was out of work for like, because my schedule worked, I work 3 12-hour shifts in a row, and then I'm off the rest of the week. So after that week, I was still not feeling right. Like I was still dizzy. I was taking my medicine. Like something wasn't right. So I thought I felt well enough to go to work, and I went back when ended up going back to work when my first 12-hour shift back. Ended up going back to work, and I was like shaking. Like I was shaking really, really bad. And so they end up like, yeah, no, you're not coming in like this. You need to know. And I end up getting checked in to the hospital that I worked with, because they were like, no, you need to go home. You can't work like that. And I got checked back in. With the hospital, I got checked out at the hospital I worked with. They're like, oh yeah, it might be vertigo. We don't know though. Um, yeah. So they weren't really helping me. They weren't really looking into it. Um, so my mom ended up taking me to a different hospital, third hospital, and they just dismissed me. They weren't really like, I couldn't really walk very well. Like, it was bad. It was bad, and they were not. My mom was ticked off because nobody was trying to help me and figure out what was going on. So after I think like a couple of days, I ended up going to my primary doctor, and at this point, like I was not. I had a cane, like I was walking with a cane, like it was bad. Like I was walking with a cane and I was shaky, and I just remember my feet, like my legs feeling kind of like numb, like. And my primary doctor was like, hey, can you like try to put one foot in front of the, because I felt like my primary doctor thought I was faking, because she's like, what are you doing with a cane? Like, she was very like kind of like, oh, are you putting on a show? Like, she gave that energy. And I was like, like I really couldn't. Like, she ran like a physical exam on me, and then she asked me if I could put one foot in front of the other, and like this, like this, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And that's when she was like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital immediately. And I called my mom, and I had the doctor talk to my mom, and she was like, yeah, you need to take her over to this hospital because something's clearly going on. You need to be put in the hospital. So my mom, she gets off, she leaves work early, comes get me. We go to the hospital that she recommended. And we go over to that hospital, and I get checked in. Mind you, I'm like hobbling around because I literally could barely walk. I could barely walk, hobbling around, and hours just passed by, hours and hours and hours. Like, it got to the point I was getting very frustrated because I was seeing people come that came after me, leaving before me, and I was just very, very frustrated. Like, because we got there, I think it was like, it was probably like, I want to say it was still daytime when we got there, so it was probably like maybe like 12 to, it was, we was in, and then like I didn't get seen till it was after 12 a.m. Like, it was bad. It was long, and I was heated because why am I not getting seen? All of a sudden, I am barely able to walk. I'm hobbling. Y'all got me sitting up here in a wheelchair because you can see me barely walking, and I still haven't been seen. So I got very, very, very frustrated. Very, I'm not gonna lie, I got snappy. And finally, after a bit, I was finally being able to get seen. And they performed a physical exam on me, and this is when I was like, already, I was shaky when I was in the waiting room, and I was shaky when they were giving me this exam. And then the doctor, asked me to count backwards while holding my legs up in the air, my leg up in the air. And for some reason, like, I couldn't count backwards. Like, I couldn't count backwards. And then I was trying, but I just couldn't. And like, I think my body knew I was trying, like my brain knew I was trying, but it just wasn't registering. And then all of a sudden my legs just like flipped out. Like, they was just like, they was like, I was having like a spasm, like. And yeah, it was pretty bad, pretty bad. And I freaked out because I was like, what the heck? What was that? What was that? So I was like, I just started bawling because I couldn't control what was going on with my body. I don't know what's going on with my body. It just started freaking out. So I started freaking out. My body freaking out. And I was bawling. And so after that, I immediately got sent to like the MRI machine, and I was just shaking like uncontrollably, like just shaking, 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 shaking. So they was like, are you cold? They kept asking me if I was cold. I'm like, I'm not cold. I'm just shaking. I don't know why I'm shaking. I'm not cold. I'm fine. And so they end up sending me to the MRI machine, getting an MRI. I end up falling asleep in the MRI machine because it was stressful, and and it was early in the morning. It was stressful. So I get out the MRI machine. I finally am able to get like like a ER like room, because I didn't even have a room, so I was just in the hallway for a while, and they finally got a room for me. I didn't think this was gonna be this hard to talk about. Sorry. So I got in my MRI room. I'm gonna try to speed up the story. So I ended up getting admitted in the hospital, which the hospital I was in was like a learning hospital. So there was always like just a bunch of people, a bunch of students, a bunch of doctors in my room. And they had me talking to psychology. And they were like, the way that they, sorry about the beeping, if you can hear beeping. They were just, I could tell like they didn't really know what was going on just by their reaction. So like it wasn't making me feel any better, because they acting like they don't know what's going on. So that's not making me feel any better, comfortable at all, because you don't know what's going on with me. So they would ask me questions, they kept asking me the same questions, had me doing the same task over and over and over again. And it was very stressful, because it was like, because some people couldn't control their reactions because they just had no idea what was going on. Oh, so I'm kind of going kind of fast. So they finally ruled out stroke, because they thought maybe I had a stroke. I didn't have a stroke. So they end up admitting me. I was at the hospital for like over a week, and they ran blood tests on me. They had physical therapy come in. It was hard for me to eat my food, like, because my arms were shaking. Like, I was just shaky, tremor. And finally, after they decided to rule everything out, they was like, yeah, you have something called FND. And I was like, what is that? And basically they was like, yeah, FND is a disorder where the signals of your brain is not shooting. Like, they was like, you're physically, I'm gonna put quotations on this, because they're like, you're physically fine, like your muscles are good and everything like that, but your brain is just not connecting with your body. So I was just like, what the, like, I was, my mind, cause I ain't never heard of this. This sound like some made up stuff. Like, like, what do you mean? Like, and I was in denial about it. I was like, there's no way that like my brain just basically decided to just shut down my because of stress, because they were saying my brain shut down because of stress. And I had an incident where my car had got broken into. So that was last stressful thing that happened to me. So basically, they were saying that little thing triggered my brain into going into FND, because FND is something that was I already had, that was already like in my system. It just needed the right trigger, and my car broken into, like, I didn't even like have like a really bad reaction to it. I was like, you know what? For those who don't know, I had a Kia, and I don't know if you guys heard, but people were breaking into Kias. So the Kia boys finally got me. Finally got me. So I wasn't like shocked. Like I wasn't, but it was like, dang, they finally got me. Anyway, they were saying that stressor triggered my FND. And for me, that was something that wasn't even as like stressful, because I've been through a lot of stuff, and they're asking me questions. Have I ever been through childhood trauma? And I was like, yeah, I have been through that. And I need to take a breath. And yeah, it can stem from that, they said. But it's also something that FND is something that doesn't have a lot of research behind it. So they couldn't really give me direct answers to the questions I had, or that my mother had. So, and I was like, well, because I had to use, at this point, like, I couldn't walk by myself. Like, I had to have a walker. They had a walker for me to use. I was shaking so bad. I had to use a bedside commode. Couldn't even get in the bathroom for real. Couldn't really take a shower. I had to do a hobo bath. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I was like, okay, so, do you know how long this is gonna last? Do you know, they was just like, it can last from a week, a month, years. So you mean I can be like in this state for years? So I was very upset. But they had physical therapy come in to help me, and I was supposed to be sent to a physical a rehabilitation center for people who have movement disorders or people who have gone through strokes. I was supposed to be going to a rehab facility, and my insurance was not budging. My insurance did not think it was worth sending me to the facility. So they ended up releasing me from the hospital after over a week, and they recommended like occupational therapy, physical therapy, and cognitive therapy. Mind you, like I said, I was already in cognitive therapy because of my trauma that I'm trying to work on. So that wasn't anything new. So I got home. It was like pulling tooth and nail trying to find a place that accepted my insurance. I called my insurance company and asked them for help, for some guidance, and the places that they gave me were either did not exist, or they used to exist and they don't exist anymore. Or I called and they're like, yeah, no, we don't accept your insurance. So I had to physically look up different places and just call to see. Finally, well, I didn't go through, but my mom finally found somebody that took my insurance. So it was like weeks later. Oh. So it was weeks later, and yeah, like it was probably like, I don't even say weeks, it was probably like a month or something later until I was able to find a proper physical therapy. Couldn't find an occupational therapy that take my insurance. And finally found physical therapy. Physical therapy, I'm not in it anymore because my insurance ran out. But I was in physical therapy probably for about 4 months, and it really did help. I loved my physical therapists that worked with me. They were really nice. Came a long way. Like, I couldn't even like kick a ball. Like, I was trying to kick a ball, I couldn't even kick a ball without shaking and stuff. And yeah, so they worked, I could only lift so much. Like, I couldn't even lift like a pound. But yeah, I couldn't lift a pound. They worked very well with me, and they got me to a better point. Today I'm doing a lot better. Like, I don't have to use my wheelchair that I have. I've been using my walker and my cane, which is great, and I'm just physically able to go to more places and to do different things, which is fantastic. I still got a ways to go because I'm trying not to be on a cane or a walker. I'm not as stiff as I was. I'm able to bend my leg because I wasn't even able to bend my legs. Now I can bend my legs, and I'm happy. And that feeling, how it feels, how my legs feel, they feel like the closest thing I can say that my legs feel, besides the pain that accompanies with it, is like, how you're about to sneeze and you get like that sensation in your nose when you're about to sneeze. So just imagine that, just holding that sensation like that, but in your legs. That sensation in your legs. That's how it feels. That is, and it's so uncomfortable. It is so agonizingly uncomfortable. But it's gotten better. It's gotten better. I feel like I glazed over a lot of things, but that's just like the summarized story of what's going on. Right now, we're working on getting me back into physical therapy. Since it's been almost a year, maybe it'll kick back in. So that is my story. And I want to say that I also went through a stage of just anger because them saying that it can be from my trauma is irritating, because I've been working so hard to move past what happened to me, and for me to finally, starting to move on, things were falling into place. I graduated from college. I had a good job at the hospital. Like, things were just falling into place. And for my trauma to hold me back once more, I was so angry. And I was so angry. But I am a strong believer that everything happens for a reason, and maybe that path that I was going on was not the path for me. And going through this, I have gotten to know myself a little bit more. I've gotten back into my art, which was something that I was passionate about when I was younger, when I was a kid. When I was in high school, I took all art, like for electives. The whole 4 years I was in art. And I'm sad that it had to take this happening to me to get back into my art, but I'm very happy that I found a way back to my art, because I had lost my passion and I was just so caught up in figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, so I can be successful, so I can have a foundation, so I can have something set for when or if I, wanted to start a family so I can just, live my life as an adult being. And I've had to dive into myself more. This situation has helped me dive into myself more, get to know myself a bit more, get connected spiritually more, get connected my mind and my body, getting to know my mind and my body together, being one with my body, taking care of myself more, paying attention to the things that I ignored before, that I just brushed off. I'm able to see those things more clearly and to work on myself. So for that aspect, I am grateful. But I've came a long way, and I still got a ways to go, but I am grateful. I am grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the people who have been very supportive. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my boyfriend. I'm grateful for my friends who have been here. I'm grateful for my best friend. Shout out to you. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for my brother. I'm grateful for my mother. I'm grateful for my grandparents. I'm grateful for my dog, our dog. I'm just so grateful, and I'm just so grateful, and I'm so grateful that I've even gotten here. I'm grateful that I've gotten this far. So right now, the girl is working on herself physically, mentally, and spiritually. So thank you guys for listening to my story with FND. If this story sounds familiar to you, leave a comment down below. Let's connect, because I don't really know like anyone personally that has FND. There is an organization called FND Hope. They have a Facebook page. They have group meetings for those who do have FND, for those who are struggling with it. Look them up. You can hear people's stories. People post their stories on their Facebook page all the time. And like I said in the last video, continue advocating for yourself. You're not crazy. This is a real thing. This is a real thing that is happening to people. There's not a lot of research behind it. There's I think one functional neurological organization. I don't say organization, but facility. And I think it's in, I can't remember. I think it's in Minnesota, somewhere that's not very accessible for everybody. So please, I just want people to be aware of what's going on. And there are a lot of people who have been diagnosed with functional neurological disorder that don't know where to go, that might have this, and their doctors don't know what's going on with them. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a great week, great day, great morning, great night, whenever you are watching this video. Thank you. See you guys in the next video.